Hello, Realm Runners. Welcome in. How are we? You are watching the Achroma weekly live stream for the 22nd of October. I am your host, Charles Barton, otherwise known as Viridian in the Discord. I am the Achroma community coordinator. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing well. So let's start by looking at the question that I posed to you at the start of the stream. For those that are here with me live, welcome in. For those that are watching on the replay afterwards, welcome in as well. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't start by saying, please remember to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Welcome in, Yellow Wolf. Good to see you. But yeah, so the question I posed to you guys at the start of this stream is... what would you like to see happen in Flutterby if pixies win, or what if fairies win? So to give people a little bit of context, I appreciate we might have some people in the stream that are a little bit newer to Achroma. We are currently mid-season, whereby essentially your games of Achroma, whether you win by 30, Achroma win, or win by draining your opponents to 0, an Achrom win, is literally tipping the scales between good and evil. And at the end of the month, whichever side has the most amount of wins will kind of win this season. And that will then change how the lore for that chapter closes. So we're currently in the season of Sparata, which is the Fall of Flutterby Chronicle. So basically what happens in Fall of Flutterby will essentially be changed based on your results. So what I was asking you today is, what would you guys like to see happen lore-wise or card-wise if pixies win or if fairies win? So let's go through the chat, say welcome in everybody and see what people said. Firstly, welcome in Shah and Lewis here nice and early. Welcome in, guys. So Shah comes in first with a wingless Copper Joss. So you want to see Copper Joss, and Lewis said the same thing, Copper Joss turn into a pixie and lose her wings. So for those that don't know, in the lore of Achroma, in Sparata, you've got fairies and pixies. Pixies don't have wings, fairies do. And what happens is, as a fairy starts using Achrom, the more powerful resource, it starts corrupting them, and they actually lose their wings, from using this, using this power. So you guys want to see Copper Joss, the leader of the painters, lose her wings and get corrupted. Welcome in, Daryl. Good to see you. Welcome in, Evan, as well. Yeah, Lewis says she fits as a pixie. She's super mean. Probably made a few pixies with how much paint she threw at other fairies. Yeah, that is true. She is a painter. But she does tend to paint the world. Heron, welcome in. In all honesty, I have no idea apart from cheaper pixies. Yeah, maybe there could be some more pixies coming out in the next set, or there could be ways to make them cheaper. Yeah. Welcome in, Adrian. Great to see you today. I did write in the chat as well that there was somebody in the Discord who had a cool idea for a potential new keyword, bless, where it could considering that fairies are all about, painting people, maybe there could be some form of paint they use which blesses someone. That it would maybe remove debuffs like frozen or cursed or hunt. That could be quite cool, especially as we do seem to have more and more keywords that are doing these sort of status effects. That is very cool. But yeah, welcome in, Yellow Wolf. Great to see you, Ulfa. Hope you're doing well, mate. Welcome in, Ricky. Good to see you. Welcome in, Richard, as well. Hi, Copper Joss gets blended. Wow, Richard. Some people want her to be a pixie. You just want her blended. Copper Joss thrown into Achrom pool or imagine if she actually, imagine if if pixies win, Copper Joss doesn't it's not like she gets corrupted, she actually gets thrown into an Achrom pool and just comes out wingless like an all dark. To be fair, I do want to see pixies win myself now, just because I would love to see a dark Copper Joss. I think an evil Copper Joss. I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, welcome in, Ricky and Richard. So first live stream since I got into Achroma a couple of weeks ago, so excited for the game. Oh, that's fantastic to hear, Adrian. Welcome in to the Achroma community from myself and the rest of the team. Do you mind me asking where you picked up the game, if you don't mind? Yeah, if you don't mind me asking. Welcome in, Jack. Great to see you. Welcome in, Idol. Welcome in, Scott, as well. Hello. Only discovered Achroma a few weeks ago yourself. Hey, welcome in, Scott. I don't suppose either of you got into the game from Angle Gaming Lounge at all, where I was recently. But yeah, welcome into the community to you both. Yeah, but that'd be very cool. Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it? You can claim to be neutral as much as you want. You'd always have a soft spot for Achroma, always will. Yeah, very true. Welcome in, Auntie, as well. So yes, let's get started with the weekly live stream then. So for those that are new to the stream and those that maybe have, been returning, so this is how these weekly live streams work. They're every single Sunday from 7 p.m. for roughly an hour to 90 minutes. You can see on this side of the screen the rough schedule that we go through. So in a moment, we're going to discuss this week's Achroma news, events, and previews. This is where essentially we tell you any news that has happened or any news that's come about over the last 7 days in the world of Achroma, because you know, you might think, wow, news every single week, but we are constantly bringing out new things and lots of things is happening in the world of Achroma, so there's always something to mention. We then will discuss any upcoming events, so you can have a look to see whether there's any events near you where you can come see the team or get involved in Achroma games. If we do have any previews for you of new cards, we will also show them on stream. Then we have what's called the Realm Table discussion. So this is a weekly community discussion where I normally get 1 or 2 members of the community to actually join me on stream, and we'll then have a bit of a discussion about, you know, a particular topic in Achroma. Today, we're going to be talking about the first turn rules. So there are a couple of rules in Achroma, which those who have played Achroma will understand that, you know, for example, the fact that you can't steal from a player until they've had their first turn, and that, you know, you draw 5 cards and there's no mulligan rule. So we're going to have a bit of discussion with the community, and this will involve you guys in the chat today to just, you know, get a bit of feedback from the community of, now that the game's been out for, you know, for a little while, and, you know, there's lots of new keywords in the game, how do we feel the current first turn rules are sitting to make the game balanced? So we'll have a bit of discussion about that. And then we finish the stream with the community showcase, and that is where we turn the light on you guys in the community, where I will be showing off all the amazing artwork that people create for Achroma this week, any palette builds that people have made. We'll talk about, there's loads of really cool Achroma content creators out there, so we'll talk about some of the content they make, and that will wrap up the stream nicely over the next, like I said, 60 to 90 minutes. So let's see what people have said in chat here. So I saw it in Tabletop Magazine review. I was near Paul on holiday, so I popped in and got a few sets. Got the new dragons on the way in the post too. Very nice. Yeah, Tabletop Mag did a really, really good spread on Achroma. We were really, really pleased with you know, how they reviewed us and you know, how much light they've shined. So yeah, really glad to hear that you've seen it through that magazine, and glad you picked up some cards, and welcome into the community. You know, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say, for those that are new to the game, if you haven't already, I would highly recommend joining the Discord if you haven't. The link is down below. There's a really bustling community there. We also play games online as well, so if you ever are in a situation where you really want to play a game of Achroma but no one in your household wants to, what we do is we take our webcams, turn them down, and just basically play over Discord. It's quite fun. You're welcome to join. Paul is lovely as well. Shaman away for the next 5 Realms event. So you're away for the next 5 Realms event, but I'll try and get to the next one. Very nice. Yeah, there's loads of stuff going on with 5 Realms. And as we'll talk about later in the stream, we're getting more and more stockists to you know, shops to stock Achroma recently, which is fantastic. I'm just going to put my Discord on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, there's lots of events happening around the country, so hopefully there'll be stuff near you guys. Scott, no, a friend of mine talked about it, and I thought I'd check it out. There's a store near me that sells the cards and a quick test game. Oh, very nice, Scott. Awesome stuff. Well, glad to be in the community. All right, so let's start then with the Achroma news, events, and previews, starting with the news. So first bit of news I've got a bit of an update on a Kickstarter product. So again, not everyone will know this, but go back to earlier in the year, we ran a Kickstarter. We have already fulfilled the pledges of all of the main items, but now we have some of the merchandise and some of the Kickstarter stretch goals that we're still getting out of the door. And yeah, so we do have an update. So obviously we had the playmats come in stock a few weeks ago. Thank you to everyone that's picked up those so far. We can now confirm that the Achroma binders have now come through the door. So you can see it pictured there, the nice white Achroma binder, from Voltex to be able to store your cards nicely. It has finally arrived. So just being open and honest, folks, although it has come through the door this week, we will not be sending them out this week. And that's purely because the team are incredibly busy this week with preparing for Comic-Con later this week. More details on that shortly. So we are looking to get these, packaged up and shipped sometime next week. So expect to see email for those that did pre-order one. Well, actually, no, sorry, I don't think there are pre-orders for them. For those that backed it in the Kickstarter, expect to see emails of dispatched in the next sort of week or so. And for those that didn't back it in the Kickstarter, they will be available for sale. So keep an eye on the 5 Realms Gaming Lounge website, as well as the Achroma.cards website, because they will be for sale, obviously, very soon. I can't wait to get hands on my own one as well. What else we got in the chat? I was about to mention that I spotted it wasn't on Duos, but yeah. I'm from down south, so a bit far. That's fair enough. Jack, got to go, but next week I'll definitely stay more. I haven't got my first set, but played it 4 times so far in the past 6 months. I'll soon have my own. Very nice, Jack. Hey, as long as you're getting to play the game, that's all that matters. But enjoy the rest of your evening and see you next week. The binder is available for pre-order. I've got one order. Oh, is it? Well, there we go. I'm out of. I am out of touch with the pre-orders. I didn't realize if we did have pre-orders for that one. So there we go. So in which case, if you have pre-ordered it, then Adrian or anyone else, then you will see an email soon of that being shipped to you. Like I said, likely to be sometime next week, just purely because of how busy the team is this week preparing for Comic-Con. A little bit of updates on other Kickstarter items as well. People are aware that one of the items that is being prepared is some custom Achroma TTRPG role-playing game dice. Those dice have gone back to the manufacturer as there are some issues to resolve. So I appreciate it's not the best news that, there might be further delays, but it's because we want to give you guys the best possible product. We will not accept a subpar product coming to your door. So we have sent those back to the manufacturer. They're going to look at resolving some issues and send us another set. We'll keep you updated on those. And I know that one of the ones that people have been waiting for the most is the merchandise. I know there's a lot of merch that is waiting to go out the door as well. One of the main reasons there's been a bit of a delay on those is because we still need to finalize some of, and the pins, is we need to finalize some of the designs. And the person who does a lot of our design work, Dan Renton, he has been so incredibly busy with designing new boxes, just helping design cards and things like that those things have just taken a bit of a backseat whilst we're focusing on our other deadlines. But I've got good news in this stream, and that is that we've now got a new designer called Tom, who has been doing some amazing work. For example, for those who don't know, Tom is the guy that actually designed the Five Realms Gaming Lounge logo, and I think we can all agree how amazing a job they did with that. So they are now helping us to finish off these other designs. So we've basically now increased our team size, and which means that these other things that have been waiting in the wings will get sorted nice and quickly. So yeah, Kickstarter is all moving forward, and the fact that the binders will be sent out very soon is obviously great news. Maybe I can click one from the shop tomorrow. Lewis, I have no idea if I'm afraid. You might be able to get lucky, but I can't guarantee either way, unfortunately. Cool. So that is Kickstarter news. Next bit of news for you is simply around the fall of Flutterby, the fact we are currently mid-season. So this is kind of ongoing news, but I appreciate we've got some new people here, so I will explain it. For those that don't know, we are currently in month 1 of the Sparata fall season. And for the first month of each season, we have an Achrometer event. I explained it a little bit at the start of the stream, but I'll mention it again now, that essentially for the first 4 weeks of October, all of the games of Achroma you play will count towards the global Achrometer. Every time you win a game of Achroma by getting up to 30 shards, that's called a Chroma win. Every time you win by draining all of your opponents to 0, that's called an Achrom win. And the Achroma is Chroma versus Achrom. At the end of the 4 weeks, whichever side has the most amount of wins, even by 1 as a majority, whichever side has the most wins will win the event, and that will quite literally change the outcome for the fall of Flutterby as a chronicle. So what will happen is whichever side wins, so there'll be a short story that will come out, and that short story will tell you how, right now, as you can see by the image, Flutterby is currently in the middle of a big battle. We will find out, do the pixies win or do the fairies win, and what happens with that. And also the next set of cards that will then be released, which are currently, going to be aiming for the end of the season, so around December time, around for Christmas, some of the cards in that set will be determined by the result. So if Chroma wins, you're likely to see some more chromatic cards be created. If Achrom wins, you'll see more cards turn to the dark side, as it were. So you guys are literally shaping the world of Achroma. So the Achrometer event lasts only until the end of October. So you've got until the 31st, which is Tuesday, not the week coming, but the week after. So you've got a little more than a week remaining. And let's have a look at the current live results. So you can see the global Achrometer here on our website, achroma.cards under global Achrometer. You've got all time and then season. So let's have a look on season and have a look at the current state of play. So right now, Chroma has been pushing. So Achroma is on 438 wins to Achrom's 389, which, let's do a quick bit of maths. What's that, 21? That's 59 wins to Achroma so far, which does sound like quite a lot, but we have seen big swings before. So if you are currently fighting for Achrom, if you guys can, play as many games as you can over the next sort of 11, 12 days, it's definitely still possible for Achrom to win. But Achroma, you guys are absolutely knocking it out of the park at the moment. Well done. I'm personally going to be fighting for Achrom for the rest of the season because I want to see it get really close. I want to see a last minute battle like we did for Draco, because for those that weren't here for Draco, the last season, which was Draco Temple, it literally came down to the last hour. It was ridiculous. 49 so far. Maths is getting there. Oh yeah, Maths is clearly not on it today. Thank you, Alpha. Bummed I missed the Kickstarter. No worries, Adrian. We have considered doing another Kickstarter in the future, but there might be another one in the future. But I appreciate that. You're in Colchester looking for people to close near me. Fair play. Don't forget, if you're looking for people nearby, yes, there is on the Achroma.tools community website, there is a map to see where players are. But yeah. So that is the global Achrometer. So make sure to get your games in if you haven't already. My next bit of news is we have our... Oh, that's a bit of a small image. We have our first ever Discord showcase happening on the 24th of October. So it's only in a couple of days' time. It's on Tuesday. So let me tell you a little bit about what this is. So about 6 months ago, we had our first ever... what we called a Achroma showcase, and that was held at the Five Realms Gaming Lounge in Poole. And that was all about kind of looking back at the last 6 months and going, okay, look at the amazing things we've done, and also revealing some of the exciting things that were coming in the next 6 months as well. Now, we do have another in-person showcase happening in London, which we'll talk about shortly. However, the Discord showcase, the idea around that is that, so on these weekly live streams, for example, we try to focus on what's new. What's new things that are coming. Because when we do these live streams, there's a good chance that there are people watching these live streams that are brand new to Achroma. And people that are brand new to Achroma don't really care too much about things that are changing or things that are adapting, because they just want to know what's new. So the whole point of the Discord showcase, we're gonna aim to run one of these once per month. This is going to run in the showcase channel in the Discord. It's kind of like a digital stage, as it were. And on each of these showcases, we're going to get a handful of the core team in, and you guys can join in the audience in Discord. And we are essentially the core team is going to speak about what we've been working on in the background, talk about upcoming changes and upcoming things that, basically, essentially we talk about news that is more catered to people that are already in the game rather than people that might be joining the game. So I can't reveal too much about what is going to be in the showcase, because the whole point of the showcase is to talk about it. But what I can say, and because I'm literally gonna read what I put in the event, because otherwise I'll end up saying too much. So it's essentially leading up to Comic-Con. We're going to be talking about some new information about the TTRPG and a few other things about what's coming at MCM Comic-Con, because we've got some. I gotta be really careful how much I say, but we've got some really big things coming, and they're going to be revealed at MCM Comic-Con. There's a live stream happening during Comic-Con you guys can see if you're not going to be there. But on the Discord showcase, we're going to be talking to the Discord community about some of those things leading up to it. So yes, join us on the 24th of October. It's going to be at 7 p.m. 7:30. Ignore me. We moved it forward. 7:30 on Tuesday evening in our Discord. You can find the link down below to the event. It will not be recorded as far as actually, it probably will be recorded. I'm not sure where we'll put the recording, but I will make sure it is recorded. So it'll be somewhere. It probably won't be on the YouTube channel. It will probably be within the Discord, but try and be there live if you can, folks. It's going to be awesome. Welcome in, Henry, by the way. Great to see you, mate. Great to see you. So yeah, that is the Discord showcase. I believe the guests that we have this week, it's going to be myself. It's going to be the CEO, Jack Constantine. It's going to be Dan Renton, and it's also going to be Chris Hillman and Ben Sewell as well. So lots of big names. So that is the Discord showcase. Next bit of news is the usual that we are currently in the middle of the Sparata season, so we do have the Sparata Full promotion, which is if you spend £30 or more online or in the Five Realms Gaming Lounge store, you will get a copy of the Sparata Full promo card. This is a limited edition card for this season only, and it is a card that can be built into any Sparata Planum palette. It is a 2-cost action with 2 steel, and it's a way of celebrating this current season. It's limited to 1,200 copies. When they're gone, they're gone. And when it gets to the end of the season, they will no longer be available. So get yours by either, you can spend £30 or more on store, or if you join us at any of our events, which I'll be talking about in just a moment, you can also pick up a copy for free at any of our events. So what else we got in the chat in the meantime? You'll be at work, but I'll hide somewhere to in the Discord. Lovely. Give Achroma an Acrom win for its birthday. Yes, it will be Achroma's birthday on the 31st. I'm going to have to miss that convention meeting. That's okay. No worries. It's all good. And yeah, exactly. I'll be honest, Alpha, considering you are brand new to the game, the Discord showcase, I mean, it still will be very interesting for you to watch because you get to watch, you know, a bit of an interview, a bit of a panel with the game's creators. But I'd imagine that what we're going to be talking about probably wouldn't relate too much to brand new players. But it'll still be interesting. Lewis says, you should say too much. That sounds like a good plan. I'll try and jump in. Awesome. Will any purchase at Comic-Con get a promo card? Yes, absolutely, Ricky. Anyone that purchases products at Comic-Con will get a promo card, and you'll be able to get a promo card just by coming and seeing us at the stall and being part of the community as well, by joining us at an event. We also have event sales and stuff like that, which is always good. Cool. So let's talk about some of the events then. So we've got loads of events to talk about. Some of them are repetitive, so I'll go through them quite quickly. I should say that all of these events are in our Discord underneath the IRL events channel, and also at the very top of our Discord, I've now actually put the events there as well. So there's loads of places to see this. So every Thursday at the Five Realms Gaming Lounge in Poole, they have Achroma Thursdays, 6 p.m. till 9:30. It's a regular weekly thing. It is £2 if you want to enter the mini event where there are some prizes to be won, but it is also just free to enter and play if you want to. Make sure to join for that. If you don't live near Poole, but you live a little bit closer to Sheffield, there is Patriot Games in Sheffield. They have a Monday night palette practice of Achroma every Monday at 6:15. Free to enter. It's just essentially just go there, play games of Achroma. So head over to Patriot Games if you live near there. We also have Boards and Swords Hobby, so this is in Derby. They have their meetups every Tuesday at 6 p.m. There can be sometimes between about 10 and 20 people that go, so it's a really nice atmosphere. I occasionally go to them as well because it's not too far from me. So if you live near Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby, definitely check that out on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. What have we got here as well? I expect they'll have the normal con offer. Yeah, we should do. Great, I have time to watch the showcase. Got an idea for a custom palette? Awesome, that sounds great, Scott. My travel money will just go straight back to Achroma. Sounds good. So yes, that's Boards and Swords. Now, the next event to talk about is obviously MCM Comic-Con. So that is the next weekend. So it's the 27th to the 29th. We will be there all 3 days. I do have a bit more information I can talk about today. So yes, you can get your ticket. There are still tickets available for Comic-Con, albeit not the priority tickets, but there are still tickets available for all 3 days if you suddenly decide that you want to get there. For those that haven't been to a Comic-Con before, I'll just say from personal experience, it is amazing fun. You know, whether you are into, you know, don't feel like you can't go if you're not into comics. It's not just about comics. There's cosplay, there's games, there's loads of celebrities going. If you like Critical Role the podcast, they're going to be there on the Sunday. If you like things like Baldur's Gate 3, those casts are going to be there as well. It's really cool. So Achroma is going to be at MCM Comic-Con all 3 days. I don't expect you to necessarily remember this, but we are going to be at, I've got it here written down here. We're going to be at, I didn't actually write it down on my stream script, but I have got it here in my Discord side. Where is it? So we are going to be at booth number S1860. I'm going to write that in chat because it's easier to read than necessarily say. Which is in hangar S6, for those that don't know, because MCM has loads of hangars, so we're in S6. If it helps, we're literally just behind the main stage. And on the other side is Critical Role. So we're literally sandwiched in between Critical Role and the main stage, which is a pretty nice place to be. So yeah, please come and see us on the day, where you can meet some of the Achroma creators. Yes, we will have obviously lots of Achroma products. We have some new stuff as well that I can't disclose today, but there's going to be some really exciting stuff to see. We've got some Achroma VIPs that are going to be there as well, which we'll get more later. And it's just going to be a whole load of fun. So please come and see us if you're there. I will be there myself all 3 days for the entire time. So it's going to be a very busy weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will also be a live stream. So on Friday, okay, so there will be a stream. I'm going to have a very busy weekend next weekend, folks, because I'm going to be in London Friday, Saturday, Sunday all day. And then I'm literally going to be driving home. I think a Comic-Con ends at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I'm going to be helping the team pack up. I'm going to be then driving home and then doing the live stream straight away. I might push next week's live stream to 8 p.m. rather than 7 p.m. just so that it gives myself time. But there will be a live stream next week because there'll be a lot to talk about. I will mention as well that on Friday, the 27th at midday, I am going to be doing a very short, no more than 20-minute live stream from MCM Comic-Con. Yes, thankfully I will have Wi-Fi because I know the signal can be bad there. It will just be from my phone with a monopod. And I will essentially be doing a quick live stream from MCM whereby I will be talking about, I'll be showing you guys the stand at MCM, showing you where we are. And like I said, we have got some big things to reveal at Comic-Con. So I'll be revealing those to those that can't be at Comic-Con on the Friday. So exciting stuff. So make sure to join for that stream or watch it on replay. Nice if you like Baldur's Gate 3, the cast will be there. Absolutely. Very nice being opposite Critical Role. It'll get the game out there more. Hopefully so. You sure going to be tired after that? I will. And it means I'll miss your usual thing as well, which would be a bit of a shame. Push it, you nutter. Wait, push what? Push what? What was I pushing? Just do the live stream on your car on your way home. Yeah, that wouldn't be too safe, but yeah, really looking forward to it. Love meeting every Friday with Achroma Gaming Shop. Yeah, absolutely. Is that if that's a Hen, let me know if that's a regular meetup every single weekend. If you've got a poster for that, do let me know, and I'll show that poster every week on stream for your store as well. Send me the details of that and I can make sure I promote that. Can't be more tired than after the 24-hour stream. You know what, Auntie? That's the best way to look at it. Yes, I can't be more tired than the 24-hour stream. Yeah, get a poster made up for the Hidden Gem one, and I don't mind promoting that on stream because, that's a good meetup as well. So yeah, that is MCM Comic-Con. The next event to discuss is, so if you can't make it to MCM Comic-Con, but you still want to get involved in some awesome stuff, then you should come to the Five Realms Gaming Lounge next Saturday, the 28th instead, because at Five Realms Gaming Lounge, they are doing a Achroma Silence in Salum Planum event. So this is next Saturday, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. It is £6 entry, and the reason for paid entry is that there is going to be prizes for certain game modes, so, you are going to potentially win some stuff. You'll also get promo cards and things like that. And the plan of action for the day, you can see the link down below the stream to buy your ticket now and to see more information. But effectively, what they've told me is that they're going to be playing lots of different formats. So there's going to be games of Achroma Canvas. There's going to be games of Achroma Heroes, so make sure to bring a Heroes palette. And there's also going to be an Achroma Cube format as well. Now, the only thing, though, is you must be using a Salem Planum palette. So either from Curdle Cove or Curdle Hill to join in the event. Now, obviously, you can still come along anyway, and free entry if you just want to come and join and see what's going on. You can come into the store. But if you want to be part of the event, £6 entry, bring your Salem Planum palette and play along in these little mini tournaments and win some prizes. I think we are aiming to show Achroma at the convention as well if we get a chance. That would be awesome, Olfa. That would be really, really cool. Do let me know. I appreciate this is a conversation for away from stream, but Olfa, do let me know if you are going to be doing a bulk order for your convention, because we do have, and this goes to anyone actually, if anybody is ever going to be doing a very large order, like we have had some people that have done large orders for things like schools and for kind of like conventions and stuff like that, we do have kind of special offers that we provide for people that are doing bulk orders for places like that, so we can get you a bit of a discount as well. What else have we got here? Just add the Acron players only. Feels like that moment, though, the challenge of the current players will be interesting every Friday. Absolutely. So yeah, that is the Silence in Salem Planum. So make sure to go to that if you haven't already. Next event to talk about, I did mention it last week, but I'll mention it again, is the first ever Achroma tournament over at Patriot Games. That's the one up in Sheffield. This is Sunday, the 19th of November. It is £5 entry. The link is down below if you want to buy tickets. The big thing for this one is this is the single largest prize pool that an Achroma tournament has ever had, with £100 cash prize for the first person, as well as a collector's edition of their choice and a custom tournament playmat from Patriot Games. Second place gets £50 in cash and as a collector's edition as well. And third and fourth prizes will get £25 in cash, in a Achroma voucher and an Achroma palette of your choice. There's also a free promo card and loads of other shard cards based on the other winners. So there'll be, even if you come like 10th, you're still going to get something. I look forward to getting that first place prize. That's fighting talk, Lewis. Has anybody played Achroma with more than 2 players? How does that work? Absolutely, Adrian. So yeah, that's actually one of the things that we pride on being different about Achroma to other games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Lorcana, etc. is that this is a 2 to 6 player card game. So it works really well, Adrian. It's kind of like playing a different game in my personal opinion. 2 players can be very fun. The games can be very quick. As soon as you're playing kind of 3, 4, 5, or even 6 players, it gets really interesting because there can still only be one winner. So let's say that you, me, Lewis, and Yellow Wolf were playing a 4-player game right now. Let's say Yellow Wolf suddenly starts to get really close to winning. You, me, and Lewis might start going, okay, right. Who can get rid of their legendary? Who can drain them so that I can play this? You start almost like making mini alliances to bring other people down. But then there can only be one winner. So a bit like Game of Thrones, eventually there's going to have to be some backstabbing because of, all those alliances break, and then suddenly, it can be really fun. In terms of how it works, it plays out the exact same as the regular game. It's just that you obviously do the turn order more than just back and forth, but the game works in the exact same way. It's really cool. And some cards in our, in all the card library we have, some of the cards actually lean more towards multiplayer games, as in being better as well. We play multiplayer all the time. Some games can last 2 hours. If you get people that, if people keep basically, tripping people up and taking time to do turns, it can last quite a while. Yeah, Sheffield's going to be great. So yes, going back to the event, the Achroma tournament. So get your tickets now if you haven't already and get it all planned, because some huge prizes for that. And then the last event to talk about is the Achroma Showcase. This is on the 30th of November. And as I said earlier, this is going to be an in-person showcase. I do have a little bit more details about this today. So this is going to be in Soho, London. It is in person, and it's going to be a massive event whereby it will start at 6 p.m. in London. It is free to enter. However, there is going to be a limited guest list. So there is a limited how many people can come in. The guest list is going to be opened up for people to sign up to join next Friday. So Friday the 27th, that is when it will go live in person at MCM or on our website to be able to sign up for the guest list. So I recommend getting in there quickly if you want to secure your spot. So yes, next Friday. So what else can I tell you about it today? In fact, let me bring up the event on the Discord, because that's where I put most of the details. It's going to be pretty much all of the core team are going to be there, and it's going to be a big staged event, a bit like our last one. So there'll be stages, speakers. It will be live streamed to YouTube, so if you can't make it, again, you can watch it on the YouTube live stream as we did before. We will have a highly anticipated launch event, so we've got a couple of products that we're going to be launching, so exciting things ahead. There's going to be some exclusive first look rewards, so those that are there in person will get some exclusive rewards for it. There's going to be some collectible signed artwork and cards available, and you can just bring your artwork and own cards to get signed by the core team. There'll be meet and greet with the world builders and game makers, as well as some guest panels and masterclasses where you can chat to, be taught by some of the game creators about what they do. There will be some gameplay tables, so just to simply play some Achroma, because why would you not want to? There will be, again, the Beat the Team challenge that we had last time, where you got to try and beat some of the Achroma core team. And there will be some cosplay as well, so if you want to get some cosplay going, that'd be awesome. If we have enough people register interest in cosplay, we might even do a little cosplay competition. That would be quite fun as well. So yes, the guest list opens on the 27th of October, so get your names on that if you want to. And that is the Achroma Showcase. That's all I can say for now. Got some friends over tomorrow, might give it a go? Yeah, please do, Adrian. It's really, really fun to play multiplayer. If in doubt, what you can do on our YouTube channel, there is a couple of, if you go to if you go to our videos, there's a couple of community game videos, and I'm pretty some of those we play 4 to 6 player games. So if you watch some of those, that might kind of give you a good idea of how those games work. When do tickets go? Oh, yeah, we read that already. And the only difference in multiplayer games is player 1 gets a first turn, draw, or trade. Yes, that's the only difference, as Heron said. Yeah, the first player can draw or trade in a multiplayer game. Cool. So that is the end of the news, events, and previews. Unfortunately, I do not have any previews for you this week, but as you can imagine, that's for several reasons, because we've only just got into this season, so there isn't anything new to show just yet. And some of the things I could preview are things that we're saving for Comic-Con, the Discord showcase, and the November showcase. So no previews today, I'm afraid. So we're going to move swiftly into the next part of the stream, which, as a reminder for those that are new, is the Realm Table segment. So this is where I'm going to be getting a live guest on the stream with me, and we're going to have a bit of a 15 to 30 minute conversation talking about a particular topic, and I want you guys in chat to get involved as well. Are there rules for multiplayer online? No, Adrian, the rules are exactly the same. They're exactly the same as 1v1. The only difference is that in a multiplayer game, the first player can draw or trade. So where normally the first player has to just skip that first step, in multiplayer you can do all of them. Otherwise, the rules are exactly the same. Which I'm pretty certain is denoted under the how to play page as well. So this week then, joining me on the live stream is Lewis, who is currently in the chat with me. So let's get Lewis on, and then we'll talk about what the topic is going to be. So welcome into the stream, Lewis. How are you doing, mate?
Hello, yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Good to have you on. So for those that haven't met you before, would you like to kind of introduce yourself and how long you've been in the community?
Yeah, not super long, but I guess it's getting on now. I joined Achroma back in February at Beachhead in Bournemouth. So yeah, it was about 8 months ago now. So yeah, it's getting up there a bit, but yeah, still relatively new compared to some people. Yeah,
I mean, it feels like longer though, and obviously, you've been a really key member of our community. You've been very active. Really, you're one of our Achroma elders, who are people designing the Discord to help new players. So you help a lot of people. Obviously, you're a content creator as well. You make the Achroma.tools website, which is for those that haven't been to that website, it's a really good palette builder if you want to make like a digital version of a palette for images. I mean, you've got so much on that site now. Do you want to have a few moments to sell it yourself?
Yeah, so yeah, we've got, obviously, if there's something you think about as well, let me know, because I'm always willing to add stuff. But yeah, we've got the RPG builder, which will get worked on a bit more once we get the beta document and stuff as well, for helping you build your RPG characters. Kind of similar to D&D Beyond, but a lot simpler. But it's a really useful way of getting it done. We've also got the map, which we started quite recently.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for players in your area, go onto there, look at the community map. It's still getting people on there, but if you don't see anyone, get yourself put on there, and then someone might find you for it as well. So make sure you.
To be very clear, though, I will say Lewis has taken precautions, folks. When you do put in your location, you're not putting in things like your street or your postcode. It's literally just your rough area, because the last thing we want to do is have a website where it's just like ping. Here's loads of players where you could go and harass. It is safe.
Town at the best, and yeah, I put it in the center of the town, and then your Discord users, people can find you on Discord, and then
exactly that, yeah.
And stuff.
But yes, lots of welcomes to you in the chat. So today, the topic I decided that we'd have a chat about today, because I know it's something that you've mentioned in the Discord a couple of times with a bit of feedback, so I'm glad to have you on. And I would love to hear in the community right now, in the live stream, we've got some people that are brand new to the game. We've got some people that have been in the game a long time. So it'd be really interesting to get you guys in chat's opinion as well. So please make sure you guys are getting involved, because I'll read out your comments. So what we're talking about today is all around the first turn rule set. So again, I'll explain it for those that are new, and then we'll get into it. Actually, no, before I do you want to talk about the opportunity that has been given to you, Lewis, for next week? Because that's before I get into the topic. So you are one of our Achroma VIPs.
So a few might have written in the Discord, some people have been invited up to Comic-Con next weekend. So on Saturday, we'll be going up to meet the Achroma guys at the stand, and we'll be getting a special box, which at the moment we have no idea what's going to be in it. We've just been told it will be some interesting things and something that's never even been teased before. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what new things we're going to get. So there's been a lot of speculation between all of us, but we have no idea. We're quite excited to see what it could be.
It's a very exciting time. So yeah, Lewis is one of a small handful of the community that we cherry picked, either being for community content creators and some other people, and yeah, very exciting time. So Lewis, I believe you're going to be doing some live streams, potentially yourself, kind of looking at that box. So I guess
exactly. I want to show it off to everyone else that can't be there. So yeah, I'll be opening my box, and if I can, the signal's okay, doing a YouTube live stream. If not, I will take some photos and post on the Achrometer's website as soon as I can.
Awesome, very exciting stuff. So yeah, there's even those that are not going to Comic-Con, there is lots of cool stuff behind. Shaz asks, "Hey Lewis, is that a green screen?" It's just the Discord background, isn't it?
It's not Discord. It's NVIDIA broadcast, but yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. But yes, very, very lucky indeed. And I will say now, by the way, in case anyone's thinking, oh man, I want to be an Achroma VIP, it's something that we are going to look to do again in the future. So we will make sure to, we'll pick other people next time. So don't worry about that. So the topic at hand today then, the realm table, is, the first turn. So for those that are brand new to the game, there are a couple of rules that are in place for the during your first turn in an Achroma game. These are the things that if you are in a 1v1, the first player has to skip their draw and trade step. There's also the rule that in 1v1 or multiplayer, nobody can steal or drain from another player until the last person starts their turn. So if it was me and Lewis having a 1v1 and I'm going first, I can't steal or drain from Lewis, but Lewis could steal or drain from me. If we were playing a 6-player game, the first 5 people can't steal or drain, but the 6th person can. And that was always designed, those rule sets were always in there to try and make it so that there are loads of benefits to going first, so we tried to make there be benefits for going second or even last. And what I wanted to discuss today on stream, and I've got a list of questions that we're going to go through with Lewis and you guys in the stream chat, is a bit of a community reflection of those rules have been in place for a while now. Considering we've now got lots of new keywords, lots of new gameplay strategies, things like that, do we feel those rules are still the best way to make the game fair? And I do want to say as a bit of disclaimer before we now get into the conversation that this is just me wanting to get some community feedback. There is no guarantee that anything will change. It's not something that we are actively reviewing behind the scenes. It's just something that I wanted to approach the community about. And if there is any strong feedback, I will pass it back to the team, and who knows, something might change. But nothing clear. Also, welcome in Shaz to the stream. So, first thing discussed then, I'll come to you first, Lewis, and obviously you guys in the chat put it in. So, let's talk about going first or second. So, let's focus specifically on 1v1s here for a moment. So, with the current rule sets, do you still feel that going first or second, it doesn't really matter, both have their benefits? Is it palette dependent, or would you personally think that there's one side that should always be preferred? Would you always prefer to go second or first, for example?
Yeah, I think if you're playing Chroma, I think you always want to go first. I think there's very little downside to going first, getting all your stuff down on board, getting characters down that can attack first before your opponent can get attacks off. I think the skipping your draw trade is a downside, but it's a very minor downside compared to how much of an advantage it is getting all of that down and starting to get all that sorted.
Yeah, because I've always been an advocate for going first because, again, I'm going to explain it in quite a amount of detail because we've got some people in the stream that haven't played the game very much. But one of the key things about Achroma is when you play characters onto the board, they have a strength number, and the attacking in Achroma is very simple. It's basically just a number, a game of top trumps. If I've got 6 shards, you've got 5 shards. The 5 shard is going to be erased when attacked. And there is a bit of a summoning sickness rule. So characters that are deployed on this first turn can't attack until their next turn. So by going first, if you can get a high value character out first, it means that you can't play a character that is any lower shards than that in fear that it's just going to be immediately attacked next turn and erased. So there is that benefit of going first. But then obviously the trade-off is second. So is there any times where Chroma would benefit from going second, do you think?
I don't think so. I think even I've seen somebody mention in chat, painters and raiders. I think even raiders, it still wants to go first because you get more benefit from resolving your game before anything can happen.
Getting that early cards down,
the extra trade. Yeah.
Okay, so on the flip side then, and I then will read out some of the comments in chat. With Achrom then, we all know that Achrom obviously loves to go second because it means that you can get your steal and drain out. Are there still times with Achrom that you would actually really want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's definitely some advantage to if you're playing an Acrom deck with large characters, getting them down early so they can attack, and getting a little bit of setup. The downside is you can't set up too much because if it gets removed, you're then losing any benefit you would have got from it. Whereas with Achroma, if something gets removed, at least you've got the gain you got off of it for the first resolve. Whereas in Achroma, if I play a steal or drain character down or location, it's going to do nothing until my second turn. But at the same time, it's better than just wasting actions when you've only got 3 actions you can do per turn, or 3 deploys, sorry.
Yeah, that is very, very true. So let's see what people in chat said. So Adrian said, I think it's generally a good rule, but the friend I play against mostly plays painters. Feels like he gets an advantage if I'm playing a stealing deck, as he can splat if he goes first. Yeah, very true. Yeah, painters are just generally very, very good palettes out the box to gain quickly. Which obviously, Adrian, I know that you said you've ordered the Altari cards. I'm not sure if you've seen, but the new keyword freeze, it's not an absolute counter to Sparta, but it definitely helps because you can freeze your opponent's cards to stop them from getting more gain. Ricky says, painters and raiders are dominating. Heron says, I always think if you play Chroma, you get to gain from the get-go, has a big start. I think one whole round, no one can gain or steal. Dickon says, they're very high trade decks as well. Ricky says, just draw a card from Achrom. Yeah, most people when playing Achrom first turn will just go, I'll just skip my draw and trade step, skip deploying, skip resolve, draw a card at the end, over to you sort of thing. Hen says, just start with throne room and a full palette. Yeah, if you're lucky enough to get those in your hand, that's a great start. Well, the only thing about that though, Hen, is that you don't necessarily know who you're playing against yet, so you don't know which color to pick.
Yeah.
Bish says, I genuinely play hybrid and I hate going first, as usually my deck tends to draw Achrom cards first. Again, that's just a bit of luck, I guess, but no, it makes sense. Definitely for multiplayer games, Achroma has very big disadvantages. And Statistics says, 100% agree with Lewis. The more I play, the more gain is just better. Achrom's only good if you've got good steal. Even trading, you're using 1 card to gain 1. But yes. So, okay, so most people seem to be relatively happy with the current rules. So let's start to break it down a little bit more detailed then. So let's talk about specifically the current steal or drain rule. Because for those that don't know, go back to January of this year, we did actually change it. It used to be that you can't steal from a player who hasn't had their turn. So it used to be in a 6-player game, the first player couldn't drain or steal at all, but the second player can steal from the first player, but not the others. So, and vice versa. But we actually took that away because what we sometimes found, albeit it was rare, what you could find is that the first player has their turn, and then if all 5 other players steal from the first player doesn't even get their second turn, which is just not fun. So we made it so that, the only person that could drain or steal is the last person. And I know it's been brought up before in feedback that is there something, do we turn around and say that nobody can steal or drain? Just make it an absolute no one steal or drain on the first turn at all? Or do you think that'd be too big of a hit to Achrom going last?
Yeah, I think if you did that, Achrom's just dead because it means it's never having a first turn. So, and then if Chroma gets 2 turns being uninterrupted, then Achrom's not going to ever be able to come back from that. So yeah, doing that is just going to kill Achrom completely.
Yeah, and that does make sense. I think the only time where it can sometimes be really difficult is in 1v1s, Achrom v Achrom. That's where I find that personally, if I was playing like a friendly game, I might even suggest that like in a 1v1 Achrom v Achrom, hey, let's just say nobody steals first turn, because it can be so difficult in 1v1 versus Achrom, where if the person who's going second, we know that there are some powerful palettes out there at the moment that can get enough to get 9 or 10 steal out first turn if you get the first lucky hand. For sure. But I guess that comes down to just trade to begin with and end your turn there. So that's fair enough. Yeah. And on the flip side then, do we feel like the rule for not drawing or trade for the first player, is that still enough of a hindrance? Because I mean, you said earlier that not drawing or trading on the first turn is kind of a, oh well. Do we feel like actually the first player needs... I'm trying to just see, do we actually think that it's quite even? Or do we think that the first, is there one side that has an advantage?
I think going first is definitely still an advantage in Achroma.
Right.
I don't know how to make that less of an advantage. Like I say, skipping that draw trade step is not a big deal. The only thing I could think of is making it so that your characters are summoning sick for an extra turn or something like that. but I'm not sure how feasible that is.
That'd be
But,
hard to
yeah, I
track
feel
and
like,
stuff as well.
yeah, I just feel like the fact that you can get your characters down on the board and all you're doing for that is skipping one draw or trade step is not a lot, really. And it just lets you, in a lot of cases, it can let you roll away the game, especially if you're playing a deck with high cost creatures and you're playing against something like Pixies, they're just like, well, I can't. If I play a character, it's just going to die no matter what.
Yeah.
That's it now.
Yeah, if your first turn you just get out a 5 or 6 shard character. I mean, obviously, yes, there are actions. There are lots of actions to erase characters, and especially with custom palettes, most people will put a decent amount of card removal cards in there. That's why I'm a big advocate with custom palettes to make sure you have a good handful of cards that can erase characters, locations, objects for that reason. But if you don't draw into that card for 3 or 4 turns, that's it. You can't play any characters, and it can be a very quick game. But that's that's part of the card game. Okay, so I mean, does anybody have any ideas, or would anyone have any ideas of what could make the first turn a little bit more even, that would make more sense? I mean, Ricky says no resolve. I think that would be too much the other way. If you couldn't resolve first turn and then Achrom steals from you,
that would just be crippling. Like, you'd be like, well, I can play on my stuff, and then I'm left on 3 shards, and I'm almost guaranteed to die to Achrom.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, by the sounds of it, people are quite happy with how the current results are, which, to be fair, is probably the best way for this conversation to go, is that most people seem to be that it is, it is currently in a good place still. Now, Adrian said, wonder if it'd be better if no one could gain or lose shards first round except for playing card costs or trading. Yeah, maybe just a blanket no resolving for first turn. It's almost like everybody skips the resolve step first turn. Okay, let's dwell on that for a second. What if it was made that for everybody's first turn, 0 resolve step? Because then you could literally just 0 resolve, not resolve step, because then actions would do it anyway. How do you reckon that would be?
I think whoever go first would still just run away with it, especially if they're playing Achrom. I'm just going to play down 3 things that steal from you.
Yeah, then they'll get the first turn.
On my next turn, I'm going to play another 3 things down. You're going to have 0 resolve, so it's just going to kill you. True.
No, that is true. Yeah, very, yeah. Richard's happy how it is. There have been times where I play against Achroma and I've played a Monopoly decision that even if they are stealing or draining, they can't destroy all my locations. Yeah, very true. Okay. So my next question then, so if we all seem to be relatively happy with how the game is now, which is obviously good news for the team. But I want to ask, before we go into that, we are now going to have a look at what other things could we potentially add in. Now, Lewis, I know this is one that you originally suggested, and it's one that I'd like to hear what the community says. Discarding. So this wasn't really an issue with the first couple of sets of Achroma, but now we've technically got 6 Chronicles out now, and there is getting more and more cards that allows you to discard or remove cards from people's hands. So there is very often times where, in a 5 or 6 player game, you get to the last couple of players and they've had so many cards discarded from their hands that they might actually be starting their first turn with only 1, 2, or 3 cards in their hand, which is, a big impact to the game and can be a little bit unfun. You're an advocate of potentially making it so that we can't discard, is that right?
Yeah, I very much believe that is. Honestly, getting to the point where it's needed. On Friday just gone, a Hidden Gem, we were playing some games, and James bought his Sano deck, and I would say, 30-40% of games, we started with 0 cards in hand before our first turn, and that's just not a fun experience.
I mean, how do you start with 0 cards with Hisano? Because doesn't you discard and draw 5 more?
Sorry, Mutans. He was
playing, Mutans, sorry. I see.
He was playing Mutans, Draco Mutans, so playing it with Uvu and all that sort of stuff, Cerulean Draco. Right,
so he was making you discard your cards and getting Mutans out so that if you wanted to draw cards, you'd have to pay 2 shards. That's, I mean, let's be honest, that's dastardly evil, which I kind of love. But
it's a brilliant deck, but it's one of those. I wouldn't mind if it happened on turn 2. Like, if I've had a turn to at least play some things, then if I lose my hand, I'll lose my hand. But when it's like, they've always had this advocate of everyone has to start on 10 shards so everyone starts on an even playing field.
Yes.
But if I start on 10 shards and 0 cards in hand, that's not an even playing field.
Yeah, and it's a good talking point that, do we think that everybody should start their turn on exact same playing field with 5 cards in hand? So what do people think in chat about that? Of, if potentially adding as Bish said there, making it so that you could only play discard, you can only force cards out of hand until the first full round, like Drain or Steal. Rich said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I think that might have been referring to the previous rules. Sadistic said, still not an issue yet. I think the game should be balanced around 1v1, not group play. No, that's true. That is true. But even in 1v1s, if anything, 1v1s is even easier to do discarding because most of the discard cards that are out there are choose a player, they discard a card. There's only a couple of them that affect everybody. So actually in a 1v1, it can even be even worse because, you have one target to hit with that. Adrian says, yeah, found a friend going to MCM who I can send over to the stand, see what deals are on offer. Hey, very nice. Look out for somebody dressed as a Powerpuff Girl. I absolutely will, Adrian.
Sounds amazing.
If you can tell me their name, you can tell me in Discord if you want, and then I can say hello to them. But I will absolutely say hello to them. I'll look out for the Powerpuff Girl. Richard says, if you use drain 3 shards of a card, you can drain a disc... Sorry, if you use drain 3 shards of a card, can you drain a discard card to stop its effect happening? Sorry, a dispose card. If you
can't drain shards from an action, I think is what he's...
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't drain 3 shards from an action, no. Not consistently. No, true. I mean, that's where we're just having that discussion now, Sadistic, of, how consistent can discarding be now? Because I have now built a discard palette with the new cards, and I believe it has 11 or 12 cards in it that allow me to discard. So there is a very good chance that in my first hand, I can at least make a 1v1 player, if I'm going first, discard at least 1 or 2 cards from the hand, if not several.
I don't think it's uncommon for Draco to get 4 cards discarded and leave you with 1. And in some cases, it can get all 5. Especially with some of the newer cards as well. We've got even more discard cards that come out with the latest Draco set.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely becoming an issue at this point.
Yeah, so I'll show you the one that I've got. Where is it? I think it's this one. So I built this palette. So I'll show you all of the cards that can discard, just as a visual example. It won't take me long. We got Prying Eyes as well. That one, and that one. So just to kind of give you a visual example. Now, admittedly, a couple of these are from the palette, not just discard, but to give you an idea, these are all cards which, if played or played in tandem, any of these cards could make you discard. It is quite common, but I think it's something we're just going to have to monitor. Hen says, stopping discard might stop some of the only Achroma power has against Chrome at the moment. No, that is a good devil's advocate, because you could argue that part of an Achroma victory isn't just draining and stealing, it's negating your opponent getting down cards. So you could argue that actually by discarding, it's just slowing you down. I think it's just one of those things.
At the same time, if we're going for balance and fun at the same time, no one enjoys starting a game with 0 cards in hand.
Yeah, and
it doesn't matter what game you're playing. Like I don't know about Magic anymore. It used to be an issue in Magic sometimes, but in Pokemon, if every time it gets to a point where that can happen, that's just like, we're going to ban these cards. We don't want anyone starting their hand with the game with no cards in hand.
And I will say that the team behind Achroma Studios, one of our biggest things we talk about when we're looking at balancing and new card sets is how do we keep the game easy to get into, but fun. Like, this has always been designed as a fun, family-friendly, fun, easy card game to get into. And the last thing we want to do is to have people not having fun. So it's something that's why I wanted to bring up today for discussion.
Yeah. No, you're wrong. I think that the deck that James built is great, and I have no issue with discard things in general. I just think maybe the same as you can't drain or steal on turn 1, maybe we should look at doing the same with discard.
Maybe we'll do some playtesting and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Dickens says potentially make it only deploy 2 cards for the first turn. Another way that you could potentially make first turn not be as strong, only playing 2 cards.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. Sadistic says, at least I haven't come across a deck that is consistent with discard cards. I think it's only since Altari has come out that there's actually now an abundance of cards in Draco. It'll be interesting to see over the next few weeks to see how common it actually ends up being, especially in some of the tournaments coming up.
Yeah, there were definitely some Draco Lost Fairies decks that with Rise of the Realms were fairly consistently getting 4 cards out of your hand, but not all 5. Now we're getting all 5 is more consistent than it was before.
Yeah. Sadistic, I want to see if I can torment Shaz with it. Scott says, or possible to place a limit on discard cards on a palette. Just putting a limit on how many cards can be discarded in one turn, maybe. or it can be discarded at all. If a person plays Impondulu Feather, can it be drained to stop its effects? Right.
You could dispose it in response to your drain.
Right. So if you to be very clear, so let's say you dispose of Impondulu Feather, which is for those who don't know, is you dispose of it to give all your characters protection. Obviously, as a reaction, you could then dispose a Dragon Tooth Kunai. It is. I'm pretty certain we have it in the rule. I'm just going to double check because I know.
Dispose, it's immediately erased, isn't it? That's the thing. So it's no longer a valid target for any removal.
Yes, I'm just double checking because I know the wording changed very quickly after it came out, and I just don't want to say a mistake on that. I'm pretty certain that the ordering is that you declare your disposes, and then the disposes happen in opposite order. Stand by. When choosing to react in a multiplayer game, resolve each dispute in turn order, ending with the original player's deploy attack. Okay. Yes. So you. No, I think that. You know what? Let me speak to Chris on that one because I'm now doubting myself. But I think it would work because the way it works is if I dispose a card, Lewis has a reaction window to dispose his own card, and once and you're just declaring that you're doing those disposes because it's not like you're declaring this is what I'm about to do, and the order of what happens first is the person reacting goes first, then my card. So it would be if you did Dragon Tooth Kunai to drain 2 shards from a card, you could do it from the Impondulu Feather. I'll double check with Chris on that one because I've actually never had anyone bring up that example. So I will let you know, and I'll put it in the rules channel in the Discord for you. Does someone call me Dastardly Evil? That was me, James. Yes, because I love the idea of your Mutan's discard palette. What else have we got in chat then? So placing a limit won't stop ones where you can get them with no cards at GG because they'll have to draw, may not be able to use them if they got no turn. Yeah, Adrian says players always find ways to break the game with unexpected combos. Yes, meet Lewis. You just have an FAQ and balance. Exactly. You know that, and that's why we have these conversations on stream with players. It's why we're constantly reviewing what we do. We try our best to limit ever having to ban or change cards. It's something that we actively don't want to do often. But you know, potential rule changes and things like that are some things that we're more keen towards, as long as it's not too often or too dramatic. But yeah, cool. So last little thing then, Lewis, to type the conversation. And this again is a question to everybody. You know, we've discussed the current first turn rules. We've discussed things like maybe a discarding rule. Is there anything else that anybody can think of that could be changed or adapted with Achroma's first turn rules that would make the first turn a more enjoyable experience and avoid unfun gameplay? Is there anything that you can particularly think of, Lewis?
I'm not sure. One thing I might like to see is making it so instead of the app choosing who goes first, it might choose the person who can decide who goes first. That way, if it picks the Achrom player in the room, they can be like, well, actually, I want the person to my left to go first, so I'm going last.
Right. So it's not like it's not telling you who's going first. It's who gets to choose who goes first.
Yeah.
That'd be quite nice. Yeah, you know, I actually am advocate of that. I like that. Adrian says, how did Murky Mana get changed? Murky Mana used to be find any card with Achrom and play it immediately for free. The issue was people were using that to get out their powerful Achrom legendaries like Isadora too easily. It was people were able to build very, very consistent Achrom palettes, and in our first grand tournament there were so many people that played that palette and it won with a breeze that we then changed it to reveal because it made it less consistent. Yeah. Anyone else?
It's all Hen's fault.
It's all Hen's fault, yeah. But yeah, that was also, we did a big errata in January, and that was just because we had a lot of cards that were our first editions that needed wording changing, more like clarity than, I think we only actually changed about 7 or 8 cards, but a lot of cards had kind of clarity updates, you know, just made it easy to read. Bish said, just going to say what Lewis just said. The app is not consistent with who goes first. Me and Ash play a lot. He goes first more than not. Okay, so maybe we could, I mean, it is random, although sometimes it doesn't feel like it's random, but maybe, yeah, making it that they choose would be better. Okay, cool. Anything else from yourself, Lewis, or anything else from chat?
Oh, I don't think so for me. Let's see if chat's got anything else.
Ricky says, I go by the random player one, but afterwards take turns, ignore the upsets. Yeah, that's fair enough. And honestly, when it comes to Achroma, folks, the rule of cool is always the way. And for those who haven't heard the rule of cool before, it is when you're playing your games at home, if there's a way that you can make it easier for your, if there's something that you can do that makes it more fun for you and the people you're playing with, just do it. As long as it makes the game more fun and doesn't make the game broken for, other people, you just do it. Cool. Well, in which case, I think that is the end of the Realm Table segment. So thank you very much for being on today, Lewis. It is much appreciated as always. If we can get a round of thank yous in chat for Lewis joining me on stream. But have a great rest of your weekend. And I very much look forward to seeing you at MCM Comic Con. It's going to be fantastic. And will we see you for the Discord showcase as well? Or are you busy?
Yeah, I think I might be there. I'm free on Tuesday this week, so I'll pop along and say hi.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you very much, Lewis. I'll speak to you very soon then. See you later, buddy.
Cheers. See you next week.
Bye, mate. Brilliant. So there we go. That is the end of the Realm Table segment. If we get a round of thank yous in chat then for Lewis joining us. If you guys want to join me on stream, I normally need live guests every week. If you keep an eye on the announcements channel in the Discord, I normally announce somewhere on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of a week when I need more guests. And I do tell you the topic up front. If you guys would like to potentially join me on a live stream, then make sure to check out that message and get involved, as it's great to get you guys in the community chatting about the game. And in terms of what next week's topic is going to be, again, if you have any topics that you want to bring forward to the community, then let me know and we can discuss them as well. Blessings, Lewis and Charles. See you both next week. Keep that nice brittle. Yeah, Lewis got such a great beard. Lovely. Well, in which case, folks, let's move swiftly on to the last bit of the stream, which is the community showcase. And this is where we shine the light back on you guys in the community at some of the amazing things you guys have created. Now, firstly, I want to mention that we have had some more Discord members. In fact, we are now up to 571. Which is a couple of new members. So welcome in to if you have joined the Discord recently. If you've not already joined the Discord, then the link is down below. We're a lovely bunch. It is family friendly, so under 18s are allowed. We also have had loads of new creator content. So we have quite a few people that make Achroma content in the community. So to mention a few of them, they're all linked down below. So we have dracotemple.com, which is a blog website for Achroma. So they've done a couple of new articles. They've done a really good new article looking at the new legendaries in the recent chronicle of the last Snow Dragons of Altari. So definitely check that out to see their debrief on those new amazing legendaries. We've obviously already spoken about Achroma.tools from Lewis's one. There's no new content on there, but I'll still mention it because Lewis obviously been on the stream today. We've got Playing Achroma, who is in the stream today, otherwise known as Ricky. Playing Achroma has a YouTube channel, and they also have a blog, both of which are linked down below. Our Achroma creators could really use all the support as possible, so please go and subscribe to their channels and check out their videos as well. Playing Achroma has brought out some new YouTube shorts this week about, so they are also one of the Achroma VIPs going to Comic-Con next weekend, and they've done a bit of a video detailing what's going to be happening, so definitely check that out. And they've also brought out some new articles as well, so check those out as well. We have Antonomy93, who is also another bloggist. His is linked down below. He's done some new articles, including one breaking down the keywords dispose and also Sprat Morale, so check out those articles. And also Wishworld Traders has started doing some more YouTube videos. Go give them a subscribe, they are linked down below. They've brought out a new video this week on talking about the faction the Pixies and talking about all the lore behind them, so definitely see what they're up to as well. As for fan-made content, it's less fan-made, but I still want to talk about it. Here is a fun image from Hen and Swag, who I believe are in the stream. I wanted to show this image on stream just because they did a little bit of, I appreciate it's not a Achroma cosplay, but we love people getting in the spooky spirit. This is over at Hidden Gem in Pool, which is another Achroma stockist. They were trying out the new Altari cards in a little bit of Halloween dress-up and wanted to say hello. They've been really enjoying the new Altari cards, and obviously, yeah, definitely check out Hidden Gem in Pool, but I just wanted to share that little photo from the community. Now, something is also very spooky is happening in Castle Gates. Something very spooky is happening in Castle Gates, which I'll just on screen here. It's just a little silly video. It's been made by Lewis of Serrano creeping up behind the castle gates. It's one of those things you think, why was that made? Don't care. I just love it. So thank you very much, Lewis, for sharing that this week. Now suddenly I've lost my music. Let me get that back. There you go. We'll get some Flutterby music back in. So yes, thank you very much, Lewis, for creating that. Love to see if maybe we can get some more of those created at some point. That's a bit of a laugh. And then let's have a look at some of the palettes that have been created this week. So for those who don't know, in the Discord, I run a bit of a weekly challenge. And this is where I will give you guys a bit of a palette building rule set. And I ask you to build your best palette based on that rule set for the week, just for a bit of fun. So last week, the challenge was, I wanted you to create the best legal canvas palette possible, where it must have an equal amount of gain, drain, and steal cards. So whether it's, basically whether it gain, steal, and drain cards, you have to have an equal amount of them. So you can't have 10 gain cards and 5 steal cards. You have to make it even. So we only actually had 2 entries this week. I think most people were probably quite busy palette building for Altari. Maybe it was a bit of a challenge as well. So we have the first palette here was done by Antinomy in the Discord. So with this one, we'll go through it. They've got a total of 9 cards that gain, 9 cards that drain, 9 cards that steal, and then 3 cards that have no resolve. So we'll have a look at this in a moment. Also, how do you get back into story mode? Are you referring to the adventure game, Richard? This was quite a hard one, in fairness. So let's have a look here. So I think Anti's done a really good job with this one. So is there actually a legendary in this palette? No. Interesting. Oh, no, sorry, there is a legendary. There is. It's Achron Breach. So we've got Achron Breach for the drain. And then what other drain cards have we got? We've got 2 Impious Drakes, 2 Mortius Drakes, 2 Dander Drakes. It's very much a Drake build, which I like, considering it's Altari. We've also got Fibron, who's a Drake, and that's Steel, though. So yeah, the 9 drain come from Achrom Havens, the Drakes, and the Achron Breach. The steals come from, where's the steals? We've got, actually, where are the steals? Sintamani Stone, both promos, the Heimshard caches, the Ring of Fire. Is that 9 steel cards? Or am I miscounting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was supposed to be, 8. Where's the other steel cards? Has there? Oh, Achrom Haven steel. Sorry, of course it is. Of course it is. It's the Draco Graveyard's Drain. There we go. That's where I got muddled up for a moment. So yes, there is an equal amount. But yeah, this is a really, really cool Drake palette. So Achron Breach is obviously a fantastic card. That is once per turn, reveal a card with Achron. And you can drain for every card with Achron on your board, which is going to be a lot. Your main source of drain and steal appears to be all these Drakes, which goes really well with Achrom Haven, which is steal for how many Drakes on your canvas. You've got, with your rares, Fibron. Fibron's ability is a little bit wasted here. Each time you would freeze a card, erase it instead, and there's no cards here with freeze. So that's a little bit wasted, but obviously Fibron being a 4-cost Drake with 2 steal is still fantastic. Harass. Sorry, we've got Harass to freeze all other canvases. So if you do Harass with Fibron, you can get a good combo. Otherwise, you would get no use out of it. You've got Materno's Egg, which is obviously great to reveal a dragon. So that's only going to be there to reveal Harass, which is very strong. You've got some strong gain locations, Monastery Nest, Chroma Storehouse, although these are heroic locations, so you can only have one of them out, but even still. And obviously Sintamani Stone. I think this is actually, even though this has been built specifically around the challenge, I think this is actually a really strong Drake palette. I actually would really like to hear from Anti how this one has gone. The only thing this palette doesn't have very much of is control. You've got 2 Dragontooth Kunais to drain 2 shards from a card. You've got 2 Impiuses to erase a card from their canvas. And you've got 1 Breath of Fire. And that's about it. Obviously, yes, Fibron and Harass combo would effectively board wipe, but that's relying on 2 cards there. You would switch the Nest for Valley Caves. I think if we were making it like a really strong, if we were going for like the strongest palette, then obviously I would agree, Lewis. But obviously for the challenge, they had to keep the gain cards. Oh no, sorry, Valley Caves. Sorry, you're right. No, so Valley Caves is Gate, isn't it? No, I completely agree, Lewis. Yeah. Well, actually, what I would do is rather than both the Nest, Lewis, considering Chroma Storehouse and Nest is heroic, I'd probably swap out one Monastery Nest and maybe one Draco Planum Library for 2 Valley Caves for the gain and the freeze. Yeah, that's a very good point. But yeah, overall, really good palette. I like it, Auntie. Well done. And well done for submitting it. So the adventure mode, Richard, it's left the main app. As we discussed it on stream last week, that the adventure mode is coming to its own separate app, which is coming out soon, TM. I don't unfortunately have an official date for you, but it's not far around the corner, I'll say that much. Yes, it will be its own separate app, and all of the progress will have been saved, so don't worry about that. It'll be back very soon. I don't know if I'm happy or sad that the Hurrisk egg is being widely used. Yeah, it's so strong. That the Materno's egg Hurrisk combo is absolutely brilliant. All right, so then the one other entry we had is from Echo. So Echo has made a Salem Planum build, so it's a mixture of Curdle Cove and Curdle Hill cards. Again, he has managed to make it so that there is an equal amount of gain, drain, and steal. There is 8 of each, and there's 6 cards that do nothing. So let's have a little look here. So the legendary is Pearl, which is choose one color and curse all cards with that color. So presumably we're going to have some cards here that capitalize on curse, like Moonveil Harpy for drain, and obviously Dark Rainbow for that massive gain. Rares wise, we've got Apollo. So each time you deploy an action card +2, of which we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 8, 9 potential actions, so that's pretty good. Sintamani Stone, fantastic card. Dig for a card and play it for free. It's just a really good redo card. Otrix in there for, again, more claiming, and same thing for Bay and Mystery, so it does seem to be around cursing. Alchemist Tincture, obviously a fantastic card to be able to reveal an object and play it for free, of which the only objects out there are a Sintamani or Corrupted Muon Trap, so you've got a good chance of getting the ones you want. Some solid locations with a couple of promos and a gain. Some good characters out with some poison, some good card draw. But it looks like the way to win this palette, really, it's your curse. You're relying on cursing your opponent and then playing your Dark Rainbow or your Moonveil Harpy. That's your main win condition, as you haven't really got that strong a presence of gain and steal from locations and characters. But very, very strong. We know that curse builds have been really high up the meta recently, especially with how strong Dark Rainbow is. So yeah, very good palette. And again, well done to Echo for that challenge. I think I struggled to pick a winner this week. What do you guys think? Who do you reckon has done the best this week? Do you guys in chat put 1 in chat if you really like Antonomi's Drake palette? Put a number 2 in chat if you really like Echo's curse palette, and we'll see what you guys think. I'm quite 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning towards Drake's, but that's only because I really like Drake builds. But then again, I do think that this is a really well built palette by Echo. You say both on the fence. Okay, well, we've got 2 people saying 2 and a lot of people on the fence. So we'll say by a very narrow margin, well done to Echo. Echo can win this week. There's no prizes apart from a virtual pat on the back. Very well done, Echo, for this build. So lastly then, folks, I will explain the palette build for this week. I've made it a little bit easier this week, as in not as complicated to think about. All I want this week is, considering that Altari has now been out for a couple of weeks and most people have already picked up their cards or should have them arriving very soon, I appreciate this slightly excludes people that haven't got the cards, but I want you guys to create the best hunt or freeze Altari palettes. I want to see what you guys are cooking up. So either build the best hunt or the best freeze palette that you can create for Achroma Canvas or Heroes. I'll take either and post them in. There will be in the Discord under the Canvas forum. I will create a forum post where it will be clearly to post your palettes. Even if you don't have the Altari cards, you can still get involved. You can go to the Achroma.cards website and look at the cards. You can go to the community-based palette builders like Achroma.tools or AchromaDeckBuilder.com. So you can still build a digital version of the palette even if you don't own the cards. And yeah, just build simply your best hunt or best freeze palette and post it in that Discord, and we'll see your palettes next week on stream. And there we go. With that then, folks, that brings us nicely to the end of the Achroma stream. It's been a good one. We've had a little bit of news, loads of events, a decent roundtable segment chatting about first turn rules of Lewis, and a nice little community showcase at the end. What about the card database? Yeah. Sorry, I did mention that you can use the card database, at achroma.cards, and then you can use the community-based palette builders to actually get an image of it as well. So yeah, you can absolutely use all of those to your disposal to create your palettes, even if you don't own the cards. Cool. So that is the end of this weekly live stream. So just as a reminder, there is already a live stream planned for next Friday. It's only a 20-minute one during MCM. And then obviously we will have the regular weekly live stream next week. Keep in mind, folks, that it is very likely that next week's live stream is going to start 1 hour later at 8 p.m. rather than 7. Reason for that is that I will be at Comic-Con all day, so I'll need time to get home and prep and then start it. So expect that next week's live stream might be an hour delayed. It will be on YouTube. But otherwise, folks, I will see you next week. Have a fantastic start to your week. And hopefully I'm going to see a load of you at Comic-Con as well. But yeah, thank you very much, folks. Can't wait to see you on the weekend. So yeah, thank you very much. This has been the Achroma Weekly live stream for the 22nd of October. I have been Charles Barton, your Achroma Community Coordinator, otherwise known as Viridian in the Discord. And I will see you throughout the week. See you later, folks. And thank you to everybody that has been obviously in the live stream with me. It wouldn't be the same without you guys chatting. So goodbye to everyone.